Hello, this is Tom Chambers for PokerSavvy.com. I'm making a CAP PLO video today. Playing 3 tables at the moment and planning to get a 4th one going pretty soon. Playing all 5-10. I think I'm on a 10-20 waiting list too, but most likely it'll just be all 5-10. A few things to talk about with CAP games generally. I've made a CAP video quite a while ago, maybe 6 months at this point. Have played it quite a bit more since then, and so I've got a better idea of the overall strategies and the best way to approach these games. Talk a bit about pre-flop strategy as situations come up, and then also about sort of considerations, especially in multi-way pots, that you have to think about when you're making equity decisions on the flop. CAP games are really sort of about two connected things, understanding which hands pre-flop make the most sense to get into certain situations where you're going to have to stack off a lot on flops. Basically, putting yourself in a situation where if there's already at a 5-10 there's already $150 in the pot, so the stack to pot ratio is only 2 or 3. You want to be in that hand with the right group of hands, with hands that are going to often dominate in spots where both people are likely to get stacks in. I played a hand before the video started recording on this table over here. It's all the way back to one of the first hands. That illustrates this pretty well. So you see this. It's the hand before this. Sorry. So here's the final result of the hand. I don't have to play it all the way through. I can just describe what happened. This was a 3-bet pot, which means that the stacks were even shallower on the flop than normal. So stack to pot ratio 1. I'm in raised, or half pot raised, to 2250 from the cutoff. This guy flat called. This guy 3-bet. I all dream 3-bet, and then I called, and reload please called. This was the flop. He flops a big wrap. I flop top pair and an open ender and backdoor flush draw. He open shoved for a pot size bet, essentially. I think there was like 300 behind, and he shoved for 270. Or sorry, yeah, 300 behind, the pot was 270. So he shoved, we got it in. And the thing to notice here is that he's got this rainbow middle rundown hand, and although this looks like a nice hand, and it's a hand that does hit some flops really hard, when you're playing a pot that has SPR1 and you're going to be up against a lot of hands that dominate this hand, either that have suits or that have higher rundown, can cover some of your straight draws and so on while having some other equity. You want to be careful not to put yourself in that kind of a position where you're going to get it in dominated. Yeah, even as I'm talking about this, I've put myself in a position where there's a good chance of getting it in dominated. Once I lead this, even though I could be up against the nut flush draw, which has me in really bad shape, I'm pretty well going to be committed. Generally, ace-high boards are decent boards to bet at. 3 ways, maybe not quite as much, but this Wilfon guy, whatever, shouldn't have an ace very often because most of the good ace hands he'll 3-bet.